Welcome, everyone, to this deep dive.
Hello.
Today, we're digging into some really interesting sources, mainly astrological insights from HiC, looking at the week ahead that's May 26th through June 2nd, 2025.
That's right. And the sources, well, they paint a picture of a pretty significant week, theme-wise.
Yeah, absolutely. Our goal here is to unpack all this for you, find the most important insights, and explore how you can, navigate the coming days. We're seeing strong themes around truth, communication, and healing popping up.
Definitely. Let's just jump right in. The big picture, the overall energy described for the week. It's all about truth, revelation, radical honesty even.
Radical honesty.
Yeah,
Okay.
the sources use phrases like Truth Serum Week, a time for emotional liberation.
Wow, truth serum. Sounds like things could get intense, maybe. What's the main takeaway we should hold on to?
I think the core message looking across the board is that your wounds actually hold wisdom, your mind.
Hmm.
It's got this capacity for real clarity right now. And your emotions, they're not a problem, they're like a guide.
Okay, so use all of it. The good, the bad, the clarity, the old hurts.
Exactly. Use all of it. Don't push stuff down. This connects right into that radical honesty point.
How so?
Well, it's about telling your truth, really saying what you mean and meaning what you say. The sources talk about um, stopping that habit of making yourself smaller or wearing masks, to fit into places or relationships that just aren't right anymore.
Right, like the masks are getting uncomfortable.
Precisely. Awareness is building,
Yeah.
and those old ways of hiding just don't feel sustainable.
So we might feel this like internal push to speak up, or maybe external stuff comes to light.
Both, potentially. You might feel ready to say something you've held back, or, yeah, hidden truths about situations might just surface. The source is pretty clear on this. Truth needs to come out before real change, real healing can actually happen.
You can't heal what you're not willing to see. Makes sense.
Exactly.
So, what's the advice for navigating this? What should be our focus?
The focus seems to be on harnessing communication, really powerful communication,
Mm.
but also working with unpredictability, innovation even.
Okay. Communication and unpredictability. Interesting mix.
Yeah, and when things feel shaky or uncertain, the advice is twofold. Lean on your community, your people, for support. But maybe even more crucially, trust your instincts. Really cultivate faith in that gut feeling.
Community support and inner guidance.
Got it. And there's a big astrological moment right at the start, isn't there? The new moon.
Yes, Monday kicks off with a new moon in Gemini. And that really sets the tone, emphasizing openness, being receptive to new ideas, new ways of thinking, new possibilities that might be emerging.
Okay, let's zero in on Monday, May 26th then. It sounds like a powerhouse day with a few things happening. What's layer one?
First up, we have Mercury sextile Neptune. Mercury is, communication, the mind, how we process things. Neptune is more about intuition, spirituality, dreams, compassion too.
And a sextile is generally helpful, right?
Yeah.
An opportunity. Exactly. It's a harmonious flow between the mind and intuition. So this suggests it's easier to tap into that deeper knowing, maybe hear your spiritual purpose a bit more clearly.
Nice.
It also really supports letting go of the past, forgiveness, making it genuinely easier to sort of uh, envision and step towards a different future. Great for creativity, brainstorming, ingenuity.
Seems good for creative work or just seeing things differently. How does it affect talking to people?
It encourages communication that's maybe more open, maybe a bit unusual for you. The sources advise against being like cagey or holding back. Speak from the heart. Let that intuition flow into your words.
Okay.
You might find you pick up on unspoken things, see patterns easily. The little catch, though, Neptune can sometimes wear rose-tinted glasses. So maybe just watch out for over-romanticizing a situation. Keep one foot on the ground.
See the potential, but check the reality.
Got it.
And Monday also has that big new moon in Gemini.
Yes, and this is really key for the whole week. New moons are always about new beginnings, planting seeds. Gemini is the sign of the mind. Communication, learning, teaching, networking, all that mental exchange.
So a new beginning focused specifically on how we think and communicate.
Exactly that. This new moon in Gemini is framed as a real turning point. How you communicate with others, yes, but also how you communicate with yourself. It opens doors for fresh starts in things like networking, teaching, learning, writing, any kind of information sharing.
How might these opportunities show up for us?
The sources suggest paying attention. You might get clear messages, maybe in conversations, maybe vivid dreams, or just a strong gut feeling, an inner knowing. They stress that these messages feel clear, conscious, hard to ignore. They're meant to help you make informed choices.
Clear, conscious, undeniable. It sounds like a potential breakthrough moment.
It really could be. This new moon is flagged as a prime time to consciously reset things. Your speech habits, your thought patterns, your writing, even how you perceive reality.
Mhm.
It's fertile ground for setting intentions around what you want to write, speak, teach, or learn over the next few weeks.
So being really intentional with our words and thoughts.
Absolutely. And projects focused on communication, ideas, or anything needing a partner, those are highlighted as being particularly favored for the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
But there's also a note about the responsibility that comes with words under this energy. It's not just about having ideas, but the initiative to use your words purposefully and the discipline to actually follow through on what you say or even just think about committing to.
Right, the follow through is key, not just talk.
Exactly. And it goes deeper. There's this call to spiritually rewire your internal dialogue, to really look at your inner narrative. How much of what you tell yourself is genuinely yours
Hmm.
versus stuff you've just absorbed from fear, distraction, conditioning.
That's deep work. Using the Gemini mind to clear out the old mental clutter.
It is. And the sources connect this directly to shaping your future. Like your beliefs create your reality. This energy brings a kind of visionary drive, courage to follow your intuition, even if it seems illogical.
Okay.
So conversations might get surprisingly deep. Truths could come out. Secrets revealed, even.
So this new moon isn't just light chat, it's about mental recalibration.
Yes, a total mental body recalibration, clearing out old ways of seeing things so truth can flow more easily, developing communication that supports who you're becoming, not who you used to be.
That is a packed Monday. And there's another major thing happening that day, too. Chiron conjunct Eris.
Yes, this one's potent, and its influence stretches beyond just this week. It perfects again in October 25 and March 26. Chiron is the wounded healer, our deep wounds and our ability to heal. Eris stirs the pot. She brings discord, reveals uncomfortable truths, challenges things.
The wounded healer meets the goddess of discord. Oh, that sounds potentially explosive.
It can be intense, yeah.
Yeah.
The sources talk about a potential healing crisis. It basically forces uncomfortable stuff, old traumas, buried wounds right up to the surface, so they have to be looked at, dealt with, tended to.
A healing crisis is never fun. It means facing the pain directly. What kind of wounds are we talking about?
The sources actually list specific root causes, things like egotism, stubbornness, arrogance, not being able to cooperate, being overly competitive, thinking might makes right.
Okay.
Also, insensitivity, rudeness, self-centeredness, impatience, impulsiveness, rash actions, aggression, bullying, ruthlessness, violence, basically the shadow side of assertiveness and ego.
That's quite a list. So this conjunction forces us to confront where those patterns in ourselves or from others caused harm so that Chiron healing can begin.
Precisely. Looking right at the source of the discord and pain. It's intense, yes, but essential if you want that deep, transformative healing.
Phew. Okay, deep breath after Monday. What happens on Tuesday, May 27th? Does the energy shift?
Tuesday brings Mercury trine Pluto. Mercury, again, mind and communication. Pluto is power, transformation, digging deep, uncovering secrets. A trine is a smooth, flowing aspect.
So mind and power depth working together easily.
Pretty much. Communication can feel incredibly potent. The sources warn words can be like weapons, but the advice is to use that power wisely. Speak directly, yes, but also with care. Focused intensity, not just brute force.
Powerful words, used consciously. What insights might come?
You could get much deeper insights into what motivates people, including yourself. Pluto gives you that X-ray vision to psychological drives, things you've maybe been avoiding. They might come to a head, but feel easier to actually face and deal with now.
Facing things head on. Very Pluto.
It is. And you might find yourself on a fact-finding mission. If something sparks your curiosity, that Plutonian drive to get to the bottom of it could take over. You might just keep digging until you unearth something hidden.
Digging for truth. Connects back to the week's theme again. Okay, let's skip ahead to Friday, May 30th. What's the energy then?
Friday, we have the Sun conjunct Mercury. The Sun is your core self, your conscious will, your vitality. Mercury is the mind. When they join up like this, the ego and the intellect are working hand in hand.
Okay, core self and mind aligned. What does that feel like day to day?
It can be great for big ideas. Conversations might feel really rapid fire. You could suddenly feel this strong urge to share your opinions, get your thoughts out there.
Moments possible.
Very possible. Something that's been confusing, you might just suddenly click. You finally get it.
That feels good.
Yeah. And the ideas that come through often feel aligned with your bigger purpose, your conscious direction. Helps you see how to use your time and energy effectively. The sources also lean towards working with others here, partnerships, collaboration, rather than trying to go it alone.
Ideas with purpose and better together? Any potential snags?
Well, interestingly, the sources mention potential communication difficulties too, even with that strong urge to speak your truth. Maybe the energy feels a bit forceful. The key, they say, isn't about being louder. It's about being unmistakably clear.
Clarity over volume. Good advice. Okay, let's round out the week with Sunday, June 1st.
Sunday brings Venus conjunct Chiron. Venus is love, relationships, values, beauty, self-worth. Chiron, as we know, is the wounded healer. So this brings the focus squarely onto our wounds in these Venusian areas.
Oof. So, relationship wounds, self-worth issues coming up.
Potentially, yeah. The sources describe this as feeling quite raw, but ultimately redemptive. It can highlight uncomfortable issues in relationships or around your sense of value, but it also brings motivation to actually improve things.
Okay.
Old wounds might definitely resurface,
Mm.
especially ones tied to feeling overlooked, undervalued, maybe left behind at some point. Those core hurts around your worth.
Facing those deep feelings of not good enough or not chosen, that takes courage.
It really does. And this leads to a really powerful definition of healing offered in the sources, especially relevant here. They say healing doesn't always look like neat closure or getting an apology or external validation. Often, healing looks like choosing yourself, especially when no one else will.
Choosing yourself when no one else will.
Wow. Yeah, hearing that right after talking about wounds of being overlooked, that hits differently. It puts the power back in your hands.
Exactly. It shifts the focus from needing something from others to finding strength within yourself. It ties the whole week together, really.
Okay, let's try and recap this journey. It feels like a big one. We started with a strong call for truth, honesty, getting real, recognizing wisdom in our wounds, clarity in our minds, guidance in our emotions.
Right. Then Monday hit hard with that intuitive flow from Mercury-Neptune, the big mental reset demanded by the Gemini new moon, and then the really deep, potentially painful surfacing of old discord with Chiron-Eris.
Yeah, facing the roots of conflict.
Yeah.
Then Tuesday's Mercury-Pluto helped us dig deeper for understanding. Friday, the Sun-Mercury conjunction brought purposeful ideas, clarity, and a push for collaboration, even if communication needed care.
And Sunday wraps it with Venus Chiron, bringing those heart-level wounds around relationships and self-worth to the surface, but offering that powerful path to healing through choosing yourself, valuing yourself from the inside out. It really feels like a week pushing for alignment between inner truth and outer expression, all in the service of deep healing.
It really does. It asks for authenticity and a willingness to sit with both the insights and the discomfort.
So as you head into this week, maybe hold on to that final thought, that idea about healing, especially if you're dealing with past hurts around self-worth. What if true healing isn't about getting something from someone else, but about that fundamental, courageous act of choosing you? Something to reflect on as you navigate these energies.